a Marwari girl, deeply passionate about math, gaming, and proving her brothers wrong, would sell her business for 600 crores.
No, not in my wildest dream. To the best of their knowledge and their experience, they would always encourage me. बोलते थे कि jewelry design का course कर लो या interior design का course कर लो शादी के बाद अच्छा है वो काम. Nobody in my family, including the boys, had ever gone abroad to study.
Was there anxiety that we just started a family? We're both in this startup together. How are we going to fend for ourselves, our dreams, our aspirations? Did that thought cross your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a lot of sleepless nights because all our eggs were in one basket.
How does your daughter feel about this?
No, I got to know from a school teacher that she was actually internally pressurizing herself about it. My parents are achievers, how am I going to live up to that?
You used Soha in one of your ads.
Celebrities add a layer of credibility and a validation to your product, and they bring about the much needed visibility.
While you were building Kidopia, did people say, oh, this is going to be another hobby business, karne do, dekhte hain kitne din chalta hai?
I had 3 priorities in my life, and that is what I stuck to, and that helped me keep away from the noise. I think as women we try to do everything. We want to be social, we want to go out, we want to be seen everywhere, we want to look good. You need to define your priorities and stick to them. My mom, not to take it very seriously, but she said that now I feel like mere 2 bete hai.
On season 4 of the Kids Stop Press podcast, I am very, very excited to welcome not only a friend, but also a woman I deeply admire because she has built an award-winning children's app all along raising her children. Kidopia, her app, was acquired by Nazara Technologies for over 300 crores. Trust me when I say this, it is incredible how she has built Kidopia into one of the learning and award-winning children's apps very slowly, steadily, and silently through this journey. In today's episode, I chat about what really goes behind creating an award-winning children's learning app, all about screen time. Are we moving all screen and completely moving away from offline learning? What are the harmful effects, and really what are people on the other side thinking when they're creating learning apps for our children? I am sure you want to be in on this conversation because it's never ever spoken about before. The right colors, the right use, the right imagery, the right questions and insights that actually go into making an award-winning children's learning app. Let's hear it from Anshu Dhanuka, the co-founder of Kidopia. I have known her for as long as you've been building Kidopia, which started in 2012.
Yes.
Our girls are pretty much the same age. Our daughter's 15, mine is 16.
Yeah.
So we bonded over the length of shorts. Building our businesses, raising teenage daughters, building women entrepreneurs, getting more seats at the board. We've done all of it, right?
Yes.
And she's super enthusiastic, very willing to help, be open about sharing her journey. And I think we need more women leaders like that. So I'm very excited to share with you. Friend and the co-founder of an award-winning learning app, Kidopia, which she has very successfully sold to Nazara Technologies. Anshu, welcome.
Thank you so much, Mansi, for that amazing introduction. I do feel that we have followed each other and our journey started somewhere together, inspired by our children. And now both of us have reached great success and amazing heights. So good to see that. Good to be here.
Amazing. Tell me about growing up years. Tell me about what you studied, how was education, family background, kaisa tha, how were people at home? Did you come from a business family? Tell me all about that.
Yeah, I think you'd be surprised. I was born in this big joint Marwari family. So you know how
so business to aata hi hai.
Business to aata hi hai. Business was there, but mostly for the boys.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of cousins, a lot of parties, a lot of weddings, a lot of functions all the time.
Was it always, because you said Marwadi and things for the boys, did you ever feel growing up that they thought that you would not have sold, a girl in a Marwadi family would not build a business that could be sold for 600 crores? It would always be a boy who would do it. Did you grow up with that?
I don't think they had that intention, but
conditioning.
Yeah, I mean, to the best of their knowledge and their experience, they would always encourage me to do कि बोलते थे कि ज्वेलरी डिज़ाइन का कोर्स कर लो या इंटीरियर डिज़ाइन का कोर्स कर लो शादी के बाद अच्छा है वो काम you could do something as a lifestyle or a hobby business. But yeah, I don't think anybody imagined
And then you
this.
pursued finance.
So yeah, growing up I studied in a state board like most of us, and then I was good at studies and I really wanted to do a master's. I wanted to be independent. Nobody in my family, including the boys, had ever gone abroad to study. I secretly applied to colleges, and it was only when I got in did I tell my parents that I've gotten, and please, please, please let me go. I don't know how it happened, but it worked.
Did dad say, "Ji le apni zindagi, Anshu, go
Yeah.
for this course"?
Yeah, something like that. I prayed, and finally it happened.
Right.
I managed to go abroad, studied for the year. It was the best experience of my life. First time I was independent out of my big group of family members. So it was fun. It was a huge learning experience, and it really helped me with my journey.
And tell me, how did, when you started building Kidopia, like where was the genesis of this idea? How did that come about?
So, growing up, I was always into education. I love studying. I was also a gamer. And I had all these brothers around me.
ये मारवाड़ी family से नहीं है.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was very different from everyone else, you can say that. But yeah, I used to beat my brothers at gaming, and so.
Did you
So I
strive
think I had
harder
that.
because you were a girl? Like, did you say, ये मुझे इससे बेहतर करना है? Or was that a thing? Was gender competition a thing while growing up?
Yeah, it was. You're right. It was. It was more with boys than with girls. I took that up as a challenge. I wanted to be better than the boys also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you were gaming and then?
Yeah, so I had an interest in education, I had an interest in gaming. So when my daughter was born, she was about a year old, and the iPad gets launched. So I give her the iPad, and she just takes to it. It is such an amazing device. She was mesmerized by it. And that's when it struck me or hit me, that this is a great device for kids. And this is the future. And rather than having random content on it, why don't I make something constructive and educational for kids, which kids will actually like? I mean, there were apps which were either educational or they were games. So the educational apps, we all know kids don't really like. It's more of a push, come on, play this math game contest app. And then there were only fun apps, which parents would not approve of. So my aim was to merge both of these. And that is how I have seen education in my life too. I have brought up my daughter playing board games or baking in the kitchen or playing card games and things like that. So I brought that to the digital world. I combined gaming and education together.
You mentioned there was a lot of random content for children.
Yeah.
And I think that I want you to deeply define that word random, because I think parents today don't know what is good content from the bad. So define that good from the bad.
There is a lot of inappropriate content. There are a lot of games which are just about violence or doing funny things or spooky things. They are not really helping kids learn anything. Kids don't take away anything from them. It's pure entertainment. Plus, there are algorithms to keep them hooked and addictive.
Right.
So it's just a rabbit hole. It's just a spiral.
Right. And when you talk about the animation or the speed or the color or the language, while you were building it, and when you thought of the idea, were you very sure, ye mere app mein nahi hoga. My app will not have this.
Yeah. So when I started, I mean, I didn't have any investment or seed funding.
Yeah.
But I wanted a global appeal, global design for my app. I actually reached out to freelancers all over the world, and I got on board an Argentinian designer to set the design language of the app, because that's all I could afford, and they were really good. So I loved their work, and they just freelanced for me, and that is how I set the design language to have a global appeal.
Right. And were there a lot of people who then said that, अच्छा ये तो hobby business है, कर लो, कोई बात नहीं, थोड़े दिन में खत्म हो जाएगा? Was that the mindset?
I don't think anybody told me that vocally, but I'm sure that's what people thought or perceived. But I had a very tunnel vision. Like, I was very stubborn like that. I had 3 priorities in my life, and that is what I stuck to. And that helped me keep away from the noise. I think as women, we try to do everything. We want to be social, we want to go out, we want to be seen everywhere, we want to look good. So you need to define your priorities and stick to them. I would not socialize. No, everybody knew I would not meet them on a weekday.
Yeah.
It was only on weekends. So it was just about close friends. It was about my daughter and my immediate family. These were my priorities, health. And that's it. Beyond that, I was just committed to work. Yeah, but I was very focused. I had a tunnel vision. I was at work 9 to 6. I kept everything, all the noise outside. So everybody knew that, I would just meet them on weekends. I never treated it like a hobby business.
Which is so amazing, I love this because you said this, that, you would not socialize during the weekdays and you didn't really care. You made yourself unavailable.
Yeah.
And you said no to so many things. I think as women, we often forget that in saying yes to so many things,
Yeah.
we don't know what are we going to say no to.
Yeah.
Because time is not going to be an infinite commodity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in saying yes to everything, we're going to stretch ourselves super thin and then going to feel the overwhelm.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And I love that you said that, you had your priorities very well etched.
Yes.
And, you had this hunger to prove the world wrong, that this is not just a hobby business. And sometimes I think we also get, when people repeatedly keep saying that it's a lifestyle business or whatever, and you feel like, did you ever second guess, am I building a lifestyle business? Did you ever feel that?
No, I never felt that. I was so focused on the product, so focused on creating joy for children all around the world.
Yeah.
I just kept all the noise out. I
Right.
was just had that mindset to keep everything out. No naysayers could actually deter me from my goal or objective.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And you were bootstrapped for a large part of the business.
Yeah.
So tell me, when did you see that inflection point? When did you feel like, Acha, this is getting somewhere?
Yeah, so we being Marwaris and everything, we were like a traditional outfit. We believed in profitability, not burning cash. So as you said, we were bootstrapped. There were a lot of roles I would do myself so as to keep the costs low. So somewhere, along the lines, this is a little technical, how we would measure our metrics.
Yeah.
So somewhere along the lines, we started seeing that our ROIs are actually more positive than CACs, that is customer acquisition costs. So that is when we thought about doubling down on our user acquisition. And that is when we needed funding to scale up.
Right.
So till we didn't get our metrics right, we didn't even think about scaling up.
Did you think that the traditional Marwari mindset helped to keep that eye on profitability?
Absolutely. I think that is just ingrained in our blood.
And that's so amazing because that's
because
got
we
you where
see so
you
many
are.
startups just burning cash and
Yeah.
just failing at the end of it.
Right. Tell me, all of this, while you were going through very important milestones as a parent yourself, were there moments where you felt like, shit, both my babies are growing up and I'm missing out one for the other?
There are two things I did for this. When I would come back from work, I would just leave my phone aside. So I had complete focus on my child and completely constructive time I would give her. In fact, I would be so organized that stay-at-home moms would call me for school updates and such.
Wow.
My home was completely organized. It was working on Excel. So whatever decision points were there were all taken care of, so I could focus on my daughter. And she grew up becoming very independent as a result. So her need for me just reduced for trivial things like homework and school.
Yeah.
Other than this, whatever things I was doing at work, whatever things I was doing manually, executing, I just kept hiring for those roles so that I could be more focused on the vision and big picture. Like when I started out, I was creating my own ads, writing my own copy and putting it on Facebook and running those ads. During a course of 5 years, I set up a whole team for that. So there is a 10 people team doing that one job, which I used to do myself.
Yeah.
So it helps with professionalizing, better quality and scaling your business. So just delegate everything that you can. Get smarter people than you to do it. And it helps you and it helps your business scale up.
Right. And tell me, which part of home did you find easiest to delegate? That it was literally running on Excel?
The daily menu.
The daily menu.
From tiffin to breakfast to evening snacks to dinner.
Yeah. And tell me, crack the code on the discipline of being even on top of the school updates, because I know that's an area that I am really struggling with. Like, I feel like I can do the meal planning in the home and my business, but I feel like the school updates, I'm clearly slacking on it. Even if I claim, I think all my friends who are watching or listening to this episode are going to put laugh emojis there.
Yeah.
So tell me about how do you crack that one?
So it wasn't a choice for me because
Or
I
maybe
had
there weren't
to.
so many WhatsApp groups, Anshu. Come on.
They're mostly archived. But it wasn't a choice because I had to book meetings, right? So I
Yeah.
had to do it around my daughter's open house or a
Yeah.
coffee conversation with the head of school and things like that, or a sports day or annual day. I had to have them in my calendar so I could book my other meetings.
Yeah.
So that I don't double book. So I didn't have a choice.
Tell me, another very important aspect of raising business and babies together is the guilt that comes in. And I've asked this question to dads as well. So I'm not labeling it as mom guilt or dad guilt, but just the guilt of parent, of sometimes missing on key milestones or accelerating one part of your life while the other kind of catches pace or is snailing through. Did you ever feel like to scale one up, you had to scale back on the other?
Ideally, you shouldn't. You want both things to be scaling. So there was guilt. There was a lot of guilt. But the only way to make up for it was to spend time with her.
Yeah.
Which I covered up during weekends and after coming back from work. Or
I
being
love how
there.
you're so rational about it. And you're very clinical about the whole process, which is amazing. That's how it's got to be. And, I know this because I'm very ruthless and calendarized about it.
Yeah.
But I know it works in my favor.
Yeah.
And that level of detachment to saying, problem hai, but iska solution, let's
Yeah,
figure. So do you
yeah.
feel like as working moms, you get into a very,
Very
solution
practical.
mindset?
Yes, I'm completely solution minded.
Yeah, like, okay, ho gaya, now what?
Yeah, I kept telling myself that I'm spending constructive time with her. She is a happy child. She's doing well in school. So what do I have to feel guilty about?
But then one problem comes and you feel like, shit, is it because of me working that this is happening? Do you do that as well?
Thankfully, touch wood, due to the grace of God, nothing like that really happened. Maybe it was because I stayed in a joint family even after getting married, so I had the support of family. It was fine.
Yeah. Tell me, was your husband always part of it? Or did he join you in due course?
So what happened was it was my idea, my baby, and I put all the specs together, the game design document and everything. But I needed an engineer to actually code it. And when we started, there were no game designers, there was no gaming, so to say, in India. And he was an engineer. He had his own programming engineering company. But he started coding these games himself because there was nobody else in the company to do it. So that's how he got involved. And that's how we made our first 3 games with him coding it himself. And we had a lot of fights during that period because
Yeah.
he was pressed for time, he was stressed, and he was a little reluctant. But, once it really took off, and he also saw that we are doing something right. And he brought his engineering mind and perfectionism to the table. So, it really started doing well, and that's when he thought that, hey, I should also do this full time. And that's when we launched it as a full-blown business, both of us together.
Interesting that you said that about how your husband joined in. Was there anxiety that we just started a family? We're both in this startup together. How are we going to fend for ourselves, our dreams, our aspirations? Did that thought cross your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we had a lot of sleepless nights because all our eggs were in one basket. And we were doing something so crazy. There has been no product out of India which is globally accepted like this. So what we set out to do was completely unimaginable.
So did you guys have like small goals that agar itne time tak nahi chalega,
Yeah.
then we'll call it quits, or then I stick around and you
Yeah.
quit and you
Yeah.
take up a
Yeah.
job or
Yeah.
you continue with your business? Like, did you guys have like
There were a lot
backup
of times
plans?
when we wanted to shut shop. We struggled a lot initially, finding funding when we needed it, or in just a form of validation. At that time everyone was getting funded, so
Yeah.
we needed that. We had a hard time doing that because it was a global product. Everybody wanted an India story,
Yeah.
so it was difficult for us to bridge that gap.
Right. Also, I know that people say this, working with your spouse is in a business that you guys are both building. And people say that either when you're building, most couples split either when they're having a baby or soon after, when they're designing a home or they're running a business. Did you guys
Absolutely.
ever like want to like kill each other for being co-founders? Is it hard?
As I said, initial days were tough. You
Yeah.
know, they are tough, and the going is tough. It is really tough. I think we have fought in office. We have done all sorts of things. You know, just going to work together in the same car. Sometimes you would end up fighting or disagreeing. But you know, nikal gaya period.
I love that. Tell me, you kept emphasizing on building a global product, and I love that because I thought your vision to that was so clear. Did you ever feel that I am based out of India, building a global product, that's going to be subscription, and Indians don't pay? How am I going to get my customer to pay? What was your thought process in having that subscription fee very clearly etched in your plan?
So, you know, actually, that was a journey. We didn't start out as a subscription business.
Right.
In fact, subscription wasn't even offered on the Apple platform or any of these platforms. It was an in app purchase or a freemium model. And it was only when subscription came up that we quickly grabbed it. And that was a big risk in our mind. I mean, it was a lot of push from my side to do it, to put all our apps together and make it a subscription business. We didn't even know that if it will do well, and it was so much work, and we were pivoting so much that, you know, we used to have a fight about it all the time. But once we did it, that's when we started actually scaling and spending, investing on user acquisition, and that's when we started seeing our ROIs getting positive and really upping the scale.
Tell me, when you know, you said you started focusing on user acquisition, and I remember that you used Soha in one of your ads early on, and I still remember this conversation with Anshu where she said that celebrities help a very strong recall value and like a stamp of endorsement that this product is good or it's trusted. What and especially because, you know, on Kidstoppers we have so many women founders who are building businesses, and they're always looking at, should I make that investment, should I cut that check, and they're always second guessing themselves. What made you so sure that this is who I want to work with, or this will work, because you were a bootstrap business back then?
Celebrities add a layer of credibility and a validation to your product, and they bring about the much needed visibility. Especially in India, it really works. Okay, so it gave us a lot of visibility and credibility. But, you know, at the end of the day, you should go down this path only if your product market fit is correct or you have tested it, because it is expensive.
Yeah.
Right? So you should do it only if you have deep pockets and free cash flow to do it. In the end, only if your product is right will it work, because you need your retention. You need those customers to keep coming back to you. So if you don't have a great product in hand and you end up spending so much on a celebrity, then, you know, you'll burn cash.
Right.
And now there are other if you don't have deep pockets, there are other creative ways to promote now in this age of digital.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me, if you started in 2012 when digital was easy adoption.
Yeah.
Today, the world is moving backwards where people want to go more analog and take kids away from screens.
Yeah.
What's your take on building today and screen time?
So, you know, how I see it is there might be a percentage of parents who are able to do that, 0% screen time. I have not met anyone. I mean, I meet parents and they are like, oh, we don't give screen to our kids, but only when they're eating, I put on YouTube for half an hour. So, you know, that is where my pain point comes in. So if your child, for YouTube for me is passive consumption of content. And that content can be inappropriate. You don't know what is running on YouTube. YouTube is showing you ads. It's showing you recommended videos. So, you know, you have no control about what your child is watching on YouTube.
Right.
So, you know, instead of that half an hour on YouTube, you could use any educational app which is constructive, which is engaging your child, rather than just passive consumption.
Right.
Also, I feel screen time is inevitable in today's world. All you can do is manage it in the right way by exposing them to right content, apps, games. And there are so many out there which are actually good for your kids.
Right.
And restricting screen time. My daughter has a very strict screen time guideline that she has to follow. So I was able to do it. It was stressful. It's not easy. But yeah, you should put those guidelines in place, and it is actually beneficial for your child.
So, are you saying that giving your child screen time early on is okay?
See, I think you should avoid it as much as you can. But if you cannot avoid it, then you should give them the right apps and content to consume.
Perfect. And Kidopia starts from what age group?
2 to 7 years.
2 to 7. And do you feel like because we are Asians and we're result oriented, every consumption needs to have a learning metrics?
Yes.
It can't be pure
Yes.
entertainment.
Yes. Absolutely. The parental psyche in India is like that. All of us are like that. But
Right.
we growing up, we have also, played video games, done things which didn't really materialize into anything.
Tell me, you mentioned about YouTube being passive consumption, not being age appropriate. What are your pet peeves when you see some content on YouTube? Like you feel, oh, like it just irks you.
Yeah, when there are like spoofs and gags that kids are doing and people are doing, all these influencers are doing, memes and all that. So, that really turns me off. And if kids are consuming that,
Right,
it's not right for them.
right. And especially in the segment of 2 to 7, do you have any pet peeves there?
So, a lot of content I see now is what you call fast comedy, just for the sake of comedy. The characters are saying anything or doing anything or hitting each other or cheesing around. So, the slapstick kind of comedy is
Yeah.
something I'm averse to.
Okay. Tell me the meeting with Tim Cook. Like, is that that one memory that will be very, very hard to erase?
Yeah.
How was it?
I
And him
think-
recognizing the incredible apparent hobby business that she was creating by the so-called naysayers.
Yeah.
Did you ever envision it?
Not in our wildest dreams, honestly.
But how was that meeting and how did it happen? And tell us all about it.
We were so nervous to meet him. It was such a
So
big
did
surprise.
his office reach out and say, hey,
Yeah.
Tim is here and he would like to meet you guys, and you would have said, who are you calling? Like, did any of that
They didn't
happen?
even tell us that Tim is here and he wants to meet you. They just said somebody wants to meet you.
Okay,
Somebody special is coming down from the US and they want to meet you.
okay.
And you come to our office at this time and you'll have a meeting with him, private audience with him.
Okay. And then what happens when you enter the door?
Yeah, so when he came in, we were like shocked. We had kind of realized because the Apple stores were opening at the same time.
Yeah.
So we had put two and two together, but they would not explicitly tell it to us.
Yeah.
We were very nervous to meet him. We were like, what will we tell him? I hope it goes well. What's going to happen? What's he going to ask us?
Right. And did you ever go through self-doubt? Like, "Ye, हमें क्यों मिलना चाहता है?" Did you do that?
We were so excited and happy that it happened.
Right.
There was no space for self-doubt. We were just so overjoyed.
Right. Tell me, when you're talking about, envisioning any of this, the meeting with Tim Cook or the acquisition, did you ever think of it in your wildest dreams that this is what the future of Kidopia will be?
Not at all. I never imagined.
I don't think as founders we build for acquisition. do we?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay, so tell me, like the Tim Cook meet when the Nazara acquisition happened, they first approach you, how did that happen? Did you ever think that this is going to be the future of Kidopia?
No, not at all. I think we were just very focused on the product, just building our company, day-to-day stuff. We were always in founder mode, so firefighting every day. Somewhere, yeah, we used to keep reading about this company getting funding and that company getting acquired. So it used to sound exciting and you would hope that it would happen to you.
And also, I think in the period that you were building Kidopia, funding was the metrics of success.
Exactly, yeah.
It had almost become
Yeah.
like, it's like Oprah said, you can have it, you can have it, you can have it. It
Yeah.
almost seemed
Yeah.
like the only award you need
Yeah,
to be called an entrepreneur.
exactly.
Yeah, was that a metrics that you were chasing too?
Maybe towards the later when we needed the money, but not initially.
Yeah.
When we really wanted to scale up,
Yeah.
that is the only time we went out to look for money.
Yeah. And then tell me, how did the meeting happen, and how did they approach you guys?
So we actually bumped into them at a game conference, and they really liked what we do, and they wanted to increase their bouquet of offerings, and that's how our conversation started.
Right. And then?
Yeah, and then they acquired 50%, and 5 years down later, they acquired the rest of the 50%. So you know,
And
was
tell us
good.
about the total deal size.
It was about 600 crores. Yeah.
Did you ever think that a Marwadi girl, deeply passionate about math, gaming, and proving her brothers wrong, would sell her business for 600 crores?
No, not in my wildest dream.
Does it still feel like this is true?
On this topic, I will tell you a comment that my mom, it was a compliment in her sense, but yeah, not to take it very seriously, but she said that now I feel like mere do bete hai.
Oh my God.
I think I took it as a compliment, even though I'm a feminist, but from where they're coming from, it is a compliment.
Yeah. And tell me, what were I think people just see success as a very linear approach.
Yeah.
They don't see what you're giving up for it.
Yeah.
What's the price you've paid for your success?
Because I had my priorities defined, I don't think I compromised. But yeah, maybe I could have had a second baby if not for this. Maybe I would have had more trips, or been more social, or been more involved in my family. I think I didn't give enough time to my family because I was so working so much. So they were always complaining that you're not coming for this event, we never get to see you. I didn't end up spending a lot of time with my family.
Right. Are you overcompensating now?
No, I'm trying to maintain that boundary still because I know I'm going to start working. So I don't want them to get used to it.
I love that. Otherwise, you'll be at lunches
They'll be expecting me at every lunch and event.
Yeah. How does your daughter feel about this?
She is fiercely proud of us, and she really looks up to her parents. And little did I know, I got to know from a school teacher that she was actually internally pressurizing herself about it. That my parents are achievers, how am I going to live up to that? So that was a conversation that we had to kind of have with her. Like, you should not, everybody has their own journey, so it doesn't matter what you do, you'll have your own journey. So
right. And do you feel like parents who are self-made are cynical about their children being the same? Like, they value discipline and discipline and hard work so much that if their kids are not exactly like them, then they have a problem?
Yeah, I think a little bit. We do expect her to be hardworking. We talk to her about our struggles and hard work all the time.
And does she go like, bro, just relax.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
yeah,
Can you
yeah,
have another
yeah.
conversation?
Yeah, she does. But we always tell her that it's okay to fail. And I always tell her, I will be more proud of your failures than your wins.
Mine is taking that very seriously. That's the problem. I was just telling her, she had some test and she's like, Mom, I said, best of luck. I knew you're going to give it your 200%. And she's like, Mom, the only thing I remember you saying right now is just give it your best.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Even if you don't do well, just give it your best.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, but I want you to do well. I think mine is taking it very seriously.
Yeah.
She's like, sab mein best. I mean, I'm very happy. But she's like, Mom, I'm not worried about the result.
Yeah.
I just know it. I'm not worried about the result. And I'm like, okay, this high ground is great.
Yeah.
But, like,
You
you've got to be a
need
little
some
bit worried about the result,
yeah.
right? I mean, you've got to at least study for that result.
Yeah.
But do you feel like, as a parent of a teen today, you are constantly straddling between your ethics, your values, your grit, your discipline, and thoda softly bolo yaar, matlab, they'll take it too seriously and there'll be like a mental health issue.
Absolutely.
Are you like struggling with that?
All the time. I mean, when I don't have a response to her, which I can tell her in a sane way, then I just walk away. because I don't want to say something when I'm emotional.
Yeah. Are you emotional?
Yeah, very. I get. I don't know how to handle emotions, so I just take my time off.
It's so ironical for me to hear somebody who's deeply emotional, also very clinical and organized
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
So there are like two very different sides of you I
Yeah,
see today.
yeah. Because either you're suppressing your emotions, but then when you feel it, then you really feel it, and then you don't know how to handle it
Yeah.
because you're not used to handling it.
I love
You don't have
that.
practice.
Yeah. And you're well practiced there. Better than me. I really struggle with it and you know it. I like find it so hard because I think, also, I think being constantly in the public eye, you're always constantly judged for everything that you're
Yes. Yeah.
doing or
Yeah.
everything that you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there is a very strong side that you want to fiercely protect,
Yeah.
because you want to keep that for your loved ones.
I honestly feel it's so difficult to put yourself out there every day in the public eye.
Yeah.
I find my office, my workplace, my staff, my employees, my colleagues, all are my comfort zone. I love just being there.
Yeah.
So coming out here is so tough for me. And you just do it so easily.
Yeah, this is my comfort zone, right? Like, if people tell me that you can even just sitting on your desk on any regular day, just show up the way you are and
Yeah.
make it look so real.
Yeah.
And whether there's no makeup, there's no light, there's no camera, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
because you do it so effortlessly. And I feel like that's why
Comfort zone.
That's why comfort zone, in the sense I can do it effortlessly because I possibly don't pretend to be anyone else. This
Right.
is who I am.
Right.
Right? So maybe that's why it becomes easier, and I think that's worked in my favor because most people find that very, very relatable. Because
Yeah.
I think the reason why Kids Stop Press worked in the first place was because I didn't pretend to be an
Yeah.
expert or somebody I'm not, or be a mom with an entourage
Yeah.
of people doing something for her. I mean, if you have that, that's great, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And I think 95% of people don't have that, and that's why I think the relatability factor was
Yeah. You have to be authentic. You have to be genuine.
was very,
Yeah,
very
and that you
high.
were.
Yeah, so that kind of almost worked.
You did help me during my initial journeys because you were talking about classes, products, so much I've followed
Yeah.
you.
I'm sure now you're struggling with the teen troubles as well. Tell me things that you fight with your daughter on.
We do fight about chatting with friends, meeting with friends all the time, social circle that they have built.
Yeah.
We fight about clothes and using Sephora makeup, Sephora culture.
Alright.
Yeah, I keep telling her. I keep talking to her about food, ordering Zomato, Swiggy, stuff there, eating healthier.
Yeah. And tell me, for somebody who's so driven in life, how do you inculcate that level of grit in your child? Is it something that you and your husband do consciously?
I think 90% of parenting is unconscious. I really believe that. Like, she has seen us grow and she has just imbibed a lot of our qualities in that process. How we talk to help, how we talk to an elder. Like, it's ingrained in her. She talks to them in a similar way with respect and compassion and empathy. So a lot of parenting is just unconscious.
Right. And
Although I do believe that she has a lot more distractions now, given this day and age. And so somewhere we have to provide her that guidance. But it has to be done very subtly. With kids these days, they can just...
Yeah. Do you feel like you're raising a fragile generation?
Very fragile.
Tell me more about it. Tell me more about it. Why do you say that?
I think they are fragile and they're super smart. I mean, I would read a parenting book and try those tricks on her. And she would be like, Mom, I know you've read something and you're just trying to be patient, but I know you're seething with anger and you're just about to burst.
Yeah.
So she would just see through that.
Right.
Or if I would, just ask her something and she would be like, there would be an outburst just because, you're teenage.
So tell me, with the abundance of so much, your daughter reading the press, knowing what you're worth, how do you still keep her grounded? And does she come back and say, Mom, stop being conjuice? Like, I know you have money. Like, why are you saying no to me all the time? Does that happen?
It happens in a different way. Like sometimes we even fight over 20 rupees if she wants to go and buy something off the road. I mean, they love to go to this store outside school and buy junk from there, chocolates and candy and whatnot. So I'll fight with that 50 rupees also with her. But at the same time, if she says that she really needs something or clothes or something, then yeah, then it's like, yeah, of course, you need something, then yes. But I keep reminding her that there should be a limit for everything. And whatever you wear, whatever you buy, you need to wear and use it.
Yeah.
You cannot just use and throw clothes. You need to wear them over a period of time. And I keep talking about kids who are underprivileged, who don't have such privileges. So she should be mindful of that.
Right.
I think she's got an overdose of that. And every time she wastes food, she's like, yes, mom, I know you're going to tell me.
Is that like every Indian mom forever? Right? तुमको इतना खाना मिल रहा है, see how much you're wasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's true.
No, I think they are bored
You know,
of
yesterday I was
listening to
going for this concert with my daughter, and her friend was in the car, and I said something like, you know, like, yeah, with these clothes you wanted to go like this, and the daughter was like, Auntie, you sound like my mom. And I was like, yeah, we do, right?
All
So I
of
think
us
it's
are like
every
that.
Indian mom on
Yeah,
repeat.
yeah. We just don't have the mentality to, just let them have a free hand of what
Yeah.
they're wearing, spending, eating. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now for the fun part, we'll move on to the rapid fire. Let's see how you fare. Every question that I had actually given her to prep has been removed. So let's see how she does. Okay, I'm just joking. Relax. She's already nervous. Okay, your favorite social media apps?
So, Instagram, but I have a screen time of 15 minutes on it for myself also.
I can just touch your feet on that. How long do you spend on it each day? You just said 15 minutes. That's
I knew the
amazing.
question, no? So I just said, you're going to start again.
Okay. No, that's fine. What's the most memorable feedback you've received from children about Kidopia?
So, during COVID, we got a lot of feedback from parents who said that Kidopia was their COVID savior and they only survived COVID because of Kidopia. And we have kids who dress up like characters from Kidopia and send us their videos of dancing, of acting. So that is really touching.
Right. 3 top skills for kids that parents must focus on to make them future ready.
So mental health is a big one. Other than that, I think communication. And then I think real life skills like doing household chores, cooking, cleaning up to survive if they were alone in a forest.
Okay. Preferred quiet time to work, early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings.
Okay. What's the 3 productivity tools that you swear by as an entrepreneur?
Slack for communication, Jira for our project management, and Figma for all our design work.
Okay, I've learned 2 new ones today. Which was your favorite subject as a child?
English and math.
Okay. How do you unwind when you get an hour of me time?
I love to read, so I just curl up with a book.
Okay. One piece of advice you would give your younger self?
I would tell my younger self that, whatever insecurities you have, it'll all work out in the end. Don't be so harsh on yourself. Just be yourself.
Okay. Sleepless nights, teenager or the acquisition?
The acquisition.
She's got an easy teenager, let me tell you that.
Yes.
Working with your husband felt like?
Honeymoon.
Oh my God! Is she the only co-founder where couples are working said this? Let's see. I want other people going on other podcasts or mine to answer this question.
Yeah.
If Anshu's correct or not. Okay. The one thing you would want to tell all Marwari parents when they have a daughter?
I would, things have really improved now. But yeah, educate them, let them pursue their higher studies, and give them some seed money and let them take risk to invest in their companies and grow them.
Amazing.
I mean, boys have it easy, I feel. They are born with a risk attitude. It's okay to invest, start a new vertical for boys. But women don't even think like that. They're like, how can I take this risk?
Right.
So that mindset needs to change from parents and
What do you
children.
think helped you to not have that mindset?
I don't know, from what I remember,
Rebel. You're a rebel child.
I'm a rebel for the right reasons,
Okay.
I would think. Yeah, I would not rebel for random things like friends and stuff like that. But yeah, for my education, I rebelled. And for working, I rebelled.
Interesting.
Setting boundaries around work.
Right. Incredible. Thank you so much for being with us today. It was an incredible time that I've managed to spend with you. I think the longest we've actually ever spent together.
Yes.
Though we've chatted, though we've met, but we've met obviously at many different forums and meetings. But It was an incredible journey and an incredible story that I truly feel needed to be shared. I'm so glad I'm the first one sharing it.
I loved coming here and sharing this with you. It was an amazing experience. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thanks, Anshu.
Parenting tips, celebrity interviews, recipes, conversations with experts, DIYs, and lots more. Subscribe to Kids Talk Press now.